What's going on, everybody? Brendan here, Dad Planet, and yes, another What Sold on eBay video. This time we are covering April 1st through the 7th. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm a full-time reseller and I only do 4 What Sold on eBay videos a month. So this is the first week in April. We're in the second quarter. I'm nervous about the second quarter because last year's numbers were all coronavirus driven. So I'm feeling a little bit slow. And this first week came in real slow relative to what my goals are and what I'm used to doing in previous weeks. So started off March awesome, starting off April a little bit slow, but I picked 15 bolos. It doesn't cover everything I sold that week, but 15 of the most interesting bolos, things that I'm hoping you learn from and find in stores, wherever it is you source from. Always a friendly reminder, if you want to see more What Sold on eBay videos, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But yes, 15 here, and I like what I see, so I hope you like what you see as well. I'm gonna go to my computer screen and we'll finish it up here in just a little bit. But for now, let's get into the bolos. Okay, so first week in Judgment Quarter, 2,000 in gross sales, very low due to my standards, due to my goals. 15 net. What I don't understand here is how could I be down 16 from prior period but up 10%? But did I really do that poorly on a net sale basis from last year? I didn't really look, and I could bring all of that stuff up. But that's perplexing to me, so I don't know. Selling cost at 24% though, that's a very nice number there, because they have been hovering around 27 to 30% some weeks. So April 1st through the 7th, 2,000, almost 2,100 in sales, and we will start it off with baseball, because baseball is back. So this is a David Ortiz jersey, Red Sox. He is now long since retired. Actually got shot, I think I heard recently, about a year ago. So hopefully he's recovered from that. It's a very scary thing. Anyway, Boston Red Sox jersey, majestic. It was brand new with tags, size 40, and this sold, I had it listed for 100 and it sold for 90. So 90 bucks and then $3.99 in shipping. So the buyer's $93.98 all in, and I paid a whopping $4.99 for this. I had it for a while. I bought it in off season. So yeah, it sold right around when it should have sold, all things considered. And again, these jerseys, David Ortiz especially, Bolo, even if they're pre-owned, I just got lucky and this one was brand new. So we'll move on to the next one. This is a very bread and butter item right here, an Affliction shirt. And you will find Affliction shirts, you'll find plenty of them pre-owned that'll sell for $20 and more. So this one cost me $1.99. It's purple, is a double-sided, and Affliction royalty. There's the front, and yeah, there's the back. So it's sold for full price, and I had it listed at 22, thinking that maybe I would give an offer, and so it would fall in the $20 range. But someone bought it at full price, so that was a nice little surprise there. So $21.99, $3.99 in shipping. Buyer is $25.98 all in, and again, this one cost me $1.99, so a really good sale. And these are the sales, ladies and gentlemen, that always butter the bread. And I'm going to show you another one too. I had this one listed for 20. I took an offer of 15. OU Ray. I've seen their shirts turn up recently, but it's a brand I've never heard of before. At any rate, this is a Red Rocks Park and Amphitheater shirt, very basic. I don't know if this is double-sided or not. Nope, nothing on the back. You can even see too, I took it on a day where there was a shadow right here, so it kind of looks like it's faded or bleached. It wasn't. It was just, that's just me taking imperfect action. Those of you that have been following me for a length of time, you've heard me say that before. Just get it in, get it done, hope for the best. But yeah, this sold for 15 bucks. This also cost only $1.99. So the buyer is $18.99 all in, and 2 in a row right there. And I sold a good number of t-shirts that week, and they're starting to sell, of course, because the weather is getting better across the United States. So these are great sales, and I always look for even just your regular t-shirts. Like, everybody wants to find Nirvana, right? But keep these ones in the loop too, because you're going to make money on those, and that's what keeps us all in business. So next one here, an InStyler model IS 1001, a rotating hair straightener, and I'll show you a picture of the tag. It was in very good condition. This thing was really heavy to me, so that was interesting. And yeah, you can see right there, model IS 1001. Had this one for a while too, and it cost me $5. But I eventually sold it for full price, $30 with $13.90 in shipping. So that buyer is $43.89 all in. This is a Bolo. If you're willing to wait, you can see like product ratings are very good. So this one stood out because of the color and just the fact that it was kind of big and bulky and heavy. So for you females that are familiar with using this, you probably like attest to its quality when in use. But from a guy's perspective, like big and bulky and heavy and clean and just looking different than all of the other hair straighteners that you normally see in a store, this one stood out to me, so I'm glad I picked it up, sold it, and yeah, keep your eye out for that as well. This one I like, sometimes I just never know why I scan something. That's obviously Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc., but since he, is a bolo for certain items, this one turned out to be a really nice one. So I'll take you through some of the pictures. It was open box, but he was new. It sold for, this one also sold for full price, $54.99, and the buyer paid $9.68 in shipping. So there's $64.67 all in. It only cost me $3.99, and there are comparable sales history on this item. So I was happy when I, did my research, because that's a heck of a score. To the next one, these ones sold really quickly. Now is the time to start sourcing heavily Teva sandals. They sell so well, and I like $30, in most cases is like the wheelhouse price that I seem to get for Teva sandals. So I put these guys up for $30 and they sold for full price really quickly, like within a day, 2 days, something like that. They cost me $4.39. Teva River with rubber soles. I'll take you through some of the images so you can see a little bit better. It's almost like an animal type of print, like dinosaur claws or something. I don't know what the exact print is, but I'll show you a picture of the tag. 67718 is the style code, and they were a size 10, and just like I said, sold quick. So $30 that buyer paid with $10.10 in shipping. So they're $40.09 all in. Again, I only paid $4.39. Do yourself a favor, start scanning the Tevas in the store and looking them up, because they sell really well for me very consistently every spring and every summer, and much of the same is happening right now. So there's proof for you. We will move on to the next one. I had mentioned a couple of my videos before that I needed to bump up the amount of shoes that I have in my inventory. It was hovering around 10%, and I like to have my shoe inventory as a percentage of my overall inventory at around 20 to 25%, just because they're easy to ship. I have a very defined and simple and effective system for photographing them, storing them. So I've been doing that recently, and this just happened to be one of the pairs that I threw in, and I like their like royal bluish to black, like ombre style color scheme here with nice white midsoles. But these shoes were in excellent condition. You can see, I'll get you a picture of the soles. They had a little bit of wear right around the heels, but there's plenty of life left in these shoes. So I was comfortable saying that they were in excellent condition, and they ended up selling for full price, $35 with $11.16 in shipping. So the buyer is $46.15 all in pre-tax. They cost me $4.39. Your shoe sales will start to pick up too, just by nature of the time frame that we are in with spring and summer and running and people wanting to get outside. So get the shoes bulked up like I am, and you'll do well. So we'll move on to the next one. These should be really obvious now. The reason I lotted these 4 Monster High dolls up is because this last one here was missing her boot, and I didn't want to sell the other 3 individually, and I didn't want to sell her individually because I thought it would take a little bit longer, even though there is a market for that doll in particular, even if the shoes are missing. So it was just easier for me to lot them up. Now, if you get lots of Monster High dolls, I suggest you take the time to list them individually where it makes sense, because that's where you will maximize the amount of money that you're going to make. If you lot them up, just understand you're probably not going to get max value for all of the dolls that you find. And because they are so hard to find now, the value seems to be increasing slightly, each time. So where it might take a little bit longer for you to sell on the higher price side, like I like to price, you're still going to get max value if you do them separate. But in this case, because she was missing a shoe, I was like, let me just throw these ones together and eventually make the sale, and that's what happened. So we're looking at Gigi Grant, Venus, McFlytrap, Claudine Wolf, and then Caddy Noir. So $50 is what I got, and $8 is what I paid, and they paid $10.10 in shipping. So they're $60.09 all in. Monster High, it's a home run. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. If you get them in stores, they're at least in my area, they're marking them up because they're aware of their uniqueness and the fact that they are selling for higher amounts than they normally were. So, but don't let that discourage you. You should even pay up if they're marking them up in stores because of how easy they are to sell. So keep that in mind. Move on to the next one. America's Nightmare CD from 1994 by Spice One. Still a very, very well-respected MC, and people are still buying CDs. I had said a couple videos ago that CDs are kind of a waste of my time, and I still believe that. But I kind of knew this one when I saw it because I was familiar with Spice One from like my high school days and friends that used to listen to hip hop and rap and all of that. So I was compelled to pick this one up, and of course you can't scan it, so you had to key it in. But yeah, $40 disc was mint, and I paid $1 for it. So buyer is $43.98 after shipping, all in, pre-tax. Keep your eye out for old school gangster rap CDs, and in particular ones with no barcode, because on days where I'm lazy, I will just put the CD back rather than type it in manually, which is ridiculous. But don't do that. Key the thing in, because there's money to be made, especially in that genre, for sure. So keep your eye out. We will move on to the next one. This is nothing more than me capitalizing on the current Pokemon card craze. This is a retail arbitrage purchase, so don't get too excited on the sales price, because it did cost me $110 to buy all 10 of these packs at like $11 per pack or whatever it was. But I had a feeling that they would sell quickly, and I was correct. So I bought all 10 of the packs and the display case for I bought it for $110 and sold it for $250. And this was an overseas buyer, actually. So this went global shipping, and they paid $8.55, if I wrote that down correctly, in shipping. That's before customs and before taxes and all that other stuff that comes with buying something and having it shipped overseas. So they are where am I at? $258.54 all in before all of that. And again, cost me $110. But Pokemon is just nuts right now. Cards are impossible to find. I have a feeling that some of this demand is artificial because of people like me, because of people, and I'm not just a reseller of Pokemon. Like, that's become a really fun thing for me and my kiddos. So I'm collecting and learning, and I'm trying to actually learn the game so that we can play the game together. But I think some of the demand is artificial because of people like me going into the stores and buying them. So you'll see sales volume on certain things taking a little bit longer than they used to. I don't know if that means the trend is kind of like slowing down. It just means that some of the demand might be kind of artificial. So just keep that in mind. But you almost can't go wrong if you find Pokemon cards in stores if you want to flip them quickly. And if you do that, I suggest you try to do that on Marketplace before you do it on eBay, but you kind of can't go wrong with either of them, so keep that in mind. We'll move on to the next one. Now, the interesting thing about this pair of shoes, the Mizuno Wave Shadow women's running shoes, and they were size 8.5, is I think this had maybe 5 views, and the comparables, I'll put comparables on the screen. I didn't see any really good comparables in a price range that was acceptable to me. What I knew, though, is that my pictures were awesome. The colors are extremely vibrant, and I've said this before in previous videos. There's a certain time when the sun is in a certain spot in my backyard where all the colors on everything just pop, and it really makes the pictures look good. So you can win the eBay game with just your pictures alone. So where these I think were selling like maybe 15, maybe 20 bucks, if there were comparables at all for this exact style and colorway, I listed mine at 30 and I got 30, even on just 5 views. So I thought that was incredible. So 30 bucks and then $10.10 in shipping. Buyer is $40.09 all in pre-tax. Cost me $4.39. Shoes, shoes, shoes. Now is the time. Get them listed. We will move on to the next one. I bought this, I think, almost a year ago. And because I didn't want to ship it, and it cost me $20 at a Goodwill. But I didn't want to ship it because it is massive. It is like the big George Foreman. The thing was like, what, 30 pounds, 25 pounds, something like that, huge. But this one had all of the like accessories that came with it, and it almost looked like it was never used. It was completely clean on the interior. It's been a long time since I looked at these pictures. So yeah, look at that. I mean, what was it used? Maybe once, maybe twice, but very, very clean. And of course it worked perfect. So I had it listed on Marketplace for 80 bucks, and it just sat there for months, and I forgot about it. And then one day I was like, I should just put this on eBay and let's see what happens. And boom, sure enough, it sold for $150, and the buyer paid $45.91 to have it shipped. So $195.90 they are all in, which is an incredible flip for $20. I am the seller that's not afraid to ship large items. I know a lot of you might not be able to physically ship items like this, but for those of you that can do it, do it. I got a Lowe's 24, I think it fit in a 24 by 18 by 18 heavy duty box. I may have doubled them. I don't remember exactly how I shipped it, but because of the height of the machine. But you know, thick the large bubble wrap and a 24 by 18 by 18 heavy duty box from Lowe's, and boom, get it out the door, no problem. I'm 100% certain that it arrived in one piece. So don't be afraid to ship big items for sure, because this was a huge return. Even $20, which is like on the high side of what I would spend on an item in a thrift store. So keep that in mind. We'll move on to the next one. Another item that I paid $20 for. This was actually behind the counter. I was checking out on a kind of a slow sourcing day, and I took a look at it, and boy, am I glad I did. Mass drop Sennheiser, sorry, limited edition headphones. Let me get you a picture of them. This is something that you don't see that often, because I think it was like just a collaboration that doesn't happen that often. But these were untouched. They were just open box, brand new, and I have a way to test them because I have like a million systems and we play systems often, so I'm constantly testing headphones if I'm listing them, and games and all of that stuff. So perfect working condition, and they sold for $90. I had it listed for $100 if I remember correctly, so I must have done a 10% offer, and they sold for $90. $90, $905 shipping, so the buyer is $99.04 all in. That was just a great find. Like, you know, are you gonna see this one in stores? I don't, you know, it's possible, but kind of unlikely. Just a large sale, a good sale, and I wanted to feature it because who doesn't like $90 when they spend 20? All right, we'll move on to the next one. I was born and raised in Cleveland, so I'm well aware of Cleveland Indians history. Albert Bell is one of the most beloved like sluggers from the Cleveland Indians era. He also went on to play for the Chicago White Sox, the Baltimore Orioles before he retired, and was just extremely popular in the mid-90s when the Cleveland Indians were at the height of the American League's Central. So this was a bobblehead that was released in 2013, so you know, long after he had retired, but it was a bolo, and I was excited when I started looking it up. And I just picked up Albert Bell because I was a fan of his, you know, when I was back in Cleveland, when I was in high school at that time. So the fact that this thing sold for $120 is just unbelievable, and there's a market for it too. So $120 and $910 the buyer paid. They're $129.09 all in pre-tax. It only cost me $3.99, and man, I'll tell you what, I'd sell this every minute of the day if you put them on the shelves. So not every bobblehead loose is like a moneymaker, but because this one was really unique, and I feel like a little bit of an insider, having been from Cleveland and from that time, and knew that this would be interesting to a certain amount of people, that that was enough for me to pick it up and scan it and do the homework. So awesome sale. And we will move on to the last one. This was a global shipping one. WWE figures, like the LJN figures, the vintage ones, selling for prices that are just unheard of. But even like the non-vintage stuff sells really well. So the name of this toy was the Wrestling Network Spotlight Extreme Asylum Dean Ambrose playset. Now, it was incomplete. It didn't have all of the things that came with the set, but it did have the steel cage and like this little extra piece up here. Dean Ambrose figure came with it, and it was in basically mint condition, hardly played with condition. And so you see the ring is from 2010, so not technically vintage, and it sold for full price, $120, brand new. I think maybe Toy Wiz or maybe Amazon has this listed for $250 or $300 brand new. So when I saw that, that gave me an indication of kind of where I wanted to price this, in addition to comparable sales. And if there are comps, I'll put them up on the screen. But $120 for a wrestling ring and a figure and some accessories is amazing. And it cost me $6, $5.99. So they paid $17.43 in shipping before customs. So they're $137.42 all in pre-tax, pre-customs. $120 for wrestling stuff. I mean, that is amazing. Keep your eye out for it. Right, the non-vintage wrestling, especially the vintage wrestling, and yeah, 15 of them. That's it. That's all I got. All right, let's pick a winner. Let's paste in the URL. We're going to filter duplicates. We're going to filter comments by a specific text, and I want Xbox in there. And let's get our comments. 87 unique comments, and we're going to pick a winner. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Katie Peterson, you are the big winner. Congratulations. Way to go. dadplanetofficial@gmail.com. Send me your details and I will send you an Xbox for free just for being a subscriber. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned something there. And always a reminder, if you are not already, please consider subscribing. It's absolutely free for you and it helps me out. And oh, by the way, I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by July, and then I'll have a giveaway extravaganza. So keep that in mind. I appreciate all of you. Thanks again. Brendan here, Dad Planet. I'm out, and we'll see you in the next video.